policy, that does not equate to being hard-hearted. So, you know, I feel quite conflicted when it comes to that, to border policy. I think that on balance, when you look at the way that the policy has shifted over the last decade, I think that those who argued for a tough border policy have the better of the argument when it comes to the human cost. But does that mean that kids should be in detention? No, absolutely not. Does it mean that we can't be more generous when it comes to humanitarian visas? I think we should be.
Thank you so much to the Wheeler Centre and you guys for a fascinating talk tonight.
Thank you.
I was a bit disappointed to begin with because I mistakenly came along to hear the guy giving the voyeur lectures, but yeah, that was my mistake. Look, I'm intensely fascinated that you believe that Hillary Clinton is the best person to solve the problems in the world now. Can you talk about the Russian reset, which was Hillary's rapprochement with Sergei Lavrov? Can you talk about Hillary's role in getting rid of Muammar Gaddafi and turning Libya essentially into a failed state? And can you talk about the risk to the United States and other Western countries in her use of a private email server during her tenure as the Secretary of State? I went and saw...
I think now because Michael is very generous in his expansive answers, and you've given him about 5 things, and he probably will address them all. Sorry to cut you short.
That's Sally's code for Michael gives shorter answers.
Although I was also going to say, you okay? You need another minute because we can keep going. Eloquent.
It was just the idea of me giving a voyeur lecture that was really... Actually, you guys should find it more distressing than I do.
You know what? Give him back the microphone for a minute.
No.
You all right?
No, let me have a go.
Okay.
I don't... Politics is about choosing. In a democracy, you've got to choose between candidates. And I wouldn't say that Hillary Clinton was a perfect Secretary of State. She wasn't. I think actually when we look at John Kerry's secretaryship, we see someone probably that has more ambition and somebody who was not preparing themselves for a subsequent role. And you see that perhaps in retrospect, Hillary could have done more as Secretary of State.
More if she wasn't planning on making the...
Yeah, I think she was probably, in retrospect, she was a bit cautious because she was constantly husbanding her political resources for the campaign that was coming. But in defence of Hillary, she's an extremely experienced candidate. She's been Secretary of State, a Senator for New York, a First Lady. She knows what government is about. She has moderate policies on foreign policy, and that's why you're now seeing not just John Howard, or I haven't actually seen that story, but you're seeing many conservatives in the United States come out and say that if Donald Trump wins the nomination, they will be supporting Hillary. I mean, you see very tough-minded Republican foreign policy people saying this. Bob Kagan, for example, said it recently. Max Boot, a neocon at the Council on Foreign Relations, has said that he would support Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump. So politics is about choosing, and I'm not saying Hillary Clinton is the ideal president or that she was the ideal Secretary of State, but I'll tell you what, in a choice between Donald Trump, who is the front runner and is the likely Republican candidate at the moment, and Hillary Clinton, if I were an American, I wouldn't hesitate for a heartbeat before I voted. Was that short enough, Sally?
It was. We have time for one